Alright, I'm starting off with these chicken breast tenderloins. I have 2 packs just because I want to make some for the rest of the week for a couple days for lunches. So I'm going to do 2 packs of those. I'm going to do 1 of these Greek dry salad dressing packets. And I'm going to get those over here in my bowl to be seasoned up. I found this recipe on Pinterest, Instagram, I think. And it sounded really good, so we're going to give it a try. I have used this Greek dry seasoning on chicken before, and I'm telling you, it was so flavorful. So that part, I already know is going to be so good. I know it's all going to be good. I just know. The idea with this one is to get all your chicken coated in the Greek dry seasoning. You fry it in olive oil on the stove top, and then when you get ready to turn it, you coat one side with Parmesan and turn it, and that side fries and has a crispy Parmesan coating. Now, I'm sure you could just parm it up all over on all sides, but this recipe just had it on the one side, and it just looks so good. I was like, you know what, I'm doing that because I have everything all ready to do it with. So I'm definitely excited to try it. Now, I always say this, be careful with these seasoning packets of any kind because they can be high in salt. The sodium is pretty up there. So you don't want to do a lot of seasoning that has a lot of salt in it in addition to some of those, because it's a shame to get things too salty. And sometimes that happens. All right, these are coated really well. I'm just gonna let them sit here for a little bit. It's not quite time for me to fry them up, but I just wanted to get the seasoning on here and just kind of let them do their thing. I think I am gonna add in some black pepper. That's definitely gonna be a bonus for these. And then, like I said, the Parmesan here once we get them frying. All right, these have gotten to be a nice golden brown color. I left them on the one side until I could see that, you know, they were kind of starting to turn white all along the edges. I knew they were about ready to be turned over, and I'm doing this on like a medium, I'd say, heat. And I have said this the last few videos with chicken is I'm really paying attention to when I'm cooking chicken to not overcook it. I've had the tendency to maybe, you know, sometimes even just 2 or 3 minutes difference can dry the chicken out a little bit more than really is best for the optimum moist piece of chicken, juicy. Look at these. I just sprinkled a little bit of Parmesan over the top there. These just look so, so good, and they really, really were. We really like them. I love the flavor from the Greek and from the Parmesan, and I just made a simple salad with some red onion, boiled egg chopped up on top, and then we had some corn on the cob. That was some really, really good sweet corn. And this just made a really delicious summer meal. In my opinion, this is really, really perfect for warm days. We sat on the porch and ate this. It was great. Now I'm going to use this chicken for another meal. I told you that I had made some extra to have for lunches, and we did, and I have a few strips left. So I love that about getting in the kitchen and cooking up some extra, is you can pull it out and reinvent it for another meal. So I knew this chicken and the flavorings on this would be so good to use for this meal, and it really, really was. So I'm getting this chicken all diced up. I'm going to throw it into a skillet over low heat and just kind of let that come to temperature. I don't really want to dry it out. I didn't even add any water back in with this one, but you definitely could to kind of rehydrate it, but it's just fine like it was. Heating that through, and then I decided to use some pasta, some angel hair pasta. Got that all cooked up and drained, and this was the whole idea for this meal, this lemon pesto sauce that I got at Trader Joe's not long ago. So I cooked up way too much pasta. I have a bad habit of doing that. I just can't seem to gauge what I need to make, but you know what? We ate on this as leftovers too, and it was so good the next day. So into the pasta there, I'm just putting a little bit of butter, just kind of give that some delicious flavor and keep everything from sticking all together. Next up, I added in some black pepper and a little bit of garlic powder. I'm going to get that mixed around. And then this is my first time to use this lemon pesto. So the bottle said, or the little jar said, just to add a couple tablespoons to your pasta. So I knew that that would probably be just perfect like it was. I tasted a little bit of it first before I started using it. It was definitely very flavorful. But I decided, since I had made so much pasta, I wanted it to be probably a little creamier than I was going to get from just a couple spoons of that. So I added a little bit of heavy cream, which was a really great idea. And so, as always, when you're cooking, you just always have to taste and adjust, add in if you need to. So I just continued to get this all mixed together, and then I gave it a little taste, and then I added just a couple more things to bring up the flavor to kind of what I was looking for. I eventually added a little bit of the dry chicken powder. I added just a little bit of water to kind of, get my chicken broth situation going. And then I ended up putting a little bit more of the lemon pesto sauce and a little bit more heavy cream, and that was just the taste that I was looking for and the creaminess that I was wanting. So yeah, just kind of experimenting with this for the first time. I definitely will buy this product again. I have a feeling it could be just like a spring product for Trader Joe's, but boy, if you're in there and see that, pick that up. I would love to buy it again. Just went ahead and topped this with my chicken and served this up. This was so, so good. The flavor was really, really bright, very tasty. It actually wasn't a real heavy tasting pasta sauce. It was really, really good. Just served it with a simple salad. And this chicken was a home run both ways. Look below. I'll type out the recipe for this. You may want to give this chicken a try. All right, this was Memorial Day, and so we decided to spontaneously do some burgers on the grill. My sister and brother-in-law came down, and a couple of our kids that already didn't have plans came over, and we just, like I said, it was spontaneous. We just decided to, hey, let's make some burgers and sit on the porch. So that's what we did. So I have 3 pounds of ground beef here. I ended up doing another pound, so I did 4 total. And just seasoning this up here, I don't ever do mine this way. like put all of it out and season the meat and then make the patties from that. But a couple weekends ago, my son Garrett did this. He was down, well, everyone was down, and he did burgers that night for us. And so he got busy on making the burgers and did them this way. And I liked the idea. So I decided to copy him and put all the meat out here on this cutting board and just seasoned it up with some onion powder and some of that garlic butter and garlic butter seasoning, and just get this all mixed. And then after I kind of mixed it, I thought, I feel like I need a little bit more seasoning, so I went back in with some more. And I'm showing you here. I don't know how to do this. This is what Garrett did a couple weekends ago. And James wasn't here, so I was like, okay, I'm not really even sure how to use this, but I want to try to copy what Garrett did. So I wasn't using it correctly, but it was close. It was close. So James kind of redid it after he got here. Well, he was here. He was just outside busy. He got a new tractor. So this weekend, he had just gotten it on Thursday of Memorial Weekend. And so he was spending a lot of time on the tractor. And so anyway, like I said, it was close. It was just making that indentation in there that wasn't supposed to be there. But this is really great. I don't know why we haven't pulled this thing out and used it before. We've had it for a couple years. It came with an accessory kit for our pit boss, but it makes really nice burgers. It really does. So here I am getting these patties all made out, getting ready to go on the grill. Also decided to make some homemade potato salad, so cooked up my potatoes and drained them, put in some pickle, some celery, some red onion, getting that stirred around. I generally don't follow a recipe for potato salad. I've probably talked about this here before, but I just kind of use what I have. I might feel like I want a little more mayonnaise-y flavor that day than I do mustard, so I just make it however I am feeling in the moment. So that's what we're doing here today. I always usually do pickle juice, though. I like to add a little bit of pickle juice and a little bit of hot sauce. I don't know, it just gives it a good wang, I guess. So getting that all mixed up, just perfect to go along with this cookout that we're having. I went in with a little bit of the Greek goddess seasoning that I got at Trader Joe's recently and really enjoying that, and a little bit of dill. All right, I also added in some garlic powder, black pepper, and I'm going to put a couple of diced eggs in the potato salad, and then I'm going to go on top and just cut some, slice some, and layer all on the top, and a little bit of paprika, and our potato salad is ready to go.
What a wonderful life. How lucky am I that I get to hold your pretty hands in mine. No clouds in the sky, nah, when you're by my side. It's like the sun is shining from those eyes. Darling, when you...
And there are some things that just scream summertime, and corn on the cob is one of them. And here in Indiana, we have a lot of corn. Although the song says there's more than corn in Indiana, there is. But boy, we have a lot of good sweet corn. And when you find it at Meijer for 5 ears for $1, you just keep your fingers crossed that it's sweet, and this one was so sweet and so good. Oh, look how pretty it is. I got this all cleaned up, threw this in the pot, and actually I was not paying attention to what I was doing, and my water wasn't even completely boiling like it should have been when I put it in there, but You know, I just do silly things like that in the kitchen more often than I would care to admit, but all's well that ends well. It was just fine. And here is the delicious spread. It was so good. Just very simple cheeseburgers, chips, potato salad, corn on the cob, all the toppings, just kind of the quintessential summertime cookout. And oh, watermelon, how can we forget that? Abigail brought that. This was just so good, and I tell you, we sat on the porch the whole day just enjoying each other's company and chatting, and it was just what Memorial Weekend should be. I'm going to show you a little dessert that I made up for that Memorial Day as well. They're called Avalanche bars. I have showed them on my channel here, I think once before, but I did something a little bit different this time. So you see me there stirring up in the bowl. Those are butterscotch chips, a whole bag just melted in the microwave. The recipe calls for white chocolate chips, and I didn't have any, so I thought I'm going to try something with this butterscotch chips. I felt like it would work, and it really did. So you melt a bag of white chocolate, or in this case butterscotch chips. You put in a little bit of peanut butter, and then your Rice Krispies, and I'll have this recipe down below. Just check it out down below. And you stir that around and get it mixed, and then you let it cool down, probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Once it cools down, you stir in mini marshmallows, put it in your sprayed baking pan. You don't bake it, but you're sprayed like glass dish or whatever, and then top it with like some mini chocolate chips. You could top it with other things as well, but that's what the recipe calls for, and that's what I did this time. These are so good. They're basically addicting. They're hard to stay out of, but if you need a really quick, easy, no-bake dessert, this is a great one. All right, for this last thing I'm going to show you here, I am going to reinvent some leftovers again for this one. So let me show you what I did. I pulled out from my pantry this can of, basically it's the Aldi version of Rotel, and I'm going to add this here to this chicken. Remember last week, if you watched the video from last week, I showed you these 2 whole chickens on a smoker that James did. They were so delicious. Well, we had some leftovers, and so I actually decided to sort of reinvent this to a Mexican meal. So years ago, James, remember the restaurant Chi-Chi's years ago? And they've been closed for a long time, but James liked a particular dish there. It was called the twice grilled barbecue burrito. If I'm not mistaken, that's what it was called. And so this was kind of my inspiration for this. I thought, you know, I'm going to use this chicken to make a Mexican meal, and since this had already had some barbecue in it, would kind of mimic that. In my mind, that's kind of what came to mind. And these were really good. So I don't have a recipe to share for this. I'm just in the kitchen cooking. But I hope this can provide some inspiration for you if you have some ingredients like this and want to pull something together. Okay, this cream of chicken and the Fiesta nacho cheese. This made such a great sauce. I mixed these 2 together along with a little bit of milk and a can of green chilies. And if you're going to pull it together like a enchilada, quote unquote, something like this, those ingredients mixed together made a really great sauce. I'll definitely do that again. It was really good. Now, I don't have a picture even to show you here of an end product because I took this to church for a fellowship meal. It was really delicious. So even though I don't have everything to show you like I normally do, I just kind of want to show you what I had. Like I said, maybe some inspiration for you for your next Mexican meal. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I'll see you all the next time. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.